Hi, and happy Monday, and almost the end of the year. And welcome back to my Monday Live every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific. So, today I'm going to show you about some of the templates that are available in Microsoft Excel. And these templates are available whether you're a Mac or a PC user. I'm just going to be demonstrating it on the PC. But let's go ahead and just do a little teeny bit of housekeeping before we get started. And in case you are new to Monday Lives, we actually have over on our website a link where you can click and actually sign up so that you don't miss these lives. So you just get an email. We don't bombard you with emails, but you'll get an email about an hour before on Monday telling you what the topic is. So today we're talking about some time-saving tips by using email templates in Excel. And believe it or not, I will be here next week on December 27th, and I'll be demonstrating some must-know keyboard shortcuts if you're a Mac or a PC user. And it's just going to save you time. We're all about saving you time and making it so you get your work done on the computer and then you move on to something else, right? Then Monday, January 3rd, I'll be talking about something similar today, but we'll be talking about Microsoft Word templates. So there's a whole variety of templates there as well. And then on the 10th, I'll be talking about some email tips that you can use for both Outlook and Gmail so that when you have, let's start the new year off correctly because, we all get bombarded with 80 billion emails, but you need to make sure you don't miss those important ones. So I'm going to share some ideas of different ways that I organize my emails to make my life easier, and also some other ones that have been shared with me. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and get started into Excel. So I'm in Excel, and right now this is just a blank workbook, right? But sometimes you're thinking, I don't want to have to start from scratch, or not really sure where to start. Well, take advantage of the probably well over 100 templates that are available in Microsoft Excel. So I'm just going to go over to the File tab. And normally you go to Home. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, they actually have tutorials for you that they're all right, but they do have tutorials. And I'm just going to go over to New. And in New, this is where you can either create a new blank workbook, which is the one we were in, right? By the way, if you don't know about it, Control N on the PC or Command N for New on the Mac is a keyboard shortcut to just create a brand new blank workbook. So now over here in the templates, these are those same things you saw when we were back on the home, but they're just different tutorials. So for example, if you want to do the formula tutorial, you can just click on it and then it just gives you this little dialog box. So you just choose create, and then it brings up a little tutorial for you about formulas. And there's quite a few different options. So you just go from tab to tab, reading whatever it is that they have, and so forth. So I'm going to go back over. I'll close this and go back over to New. And then notice as soon as I opened up something, it showed up on this area here. Now, I don't know if you've ever paid attention, but this is true in pretty much all the Microsoft products. When you're in New or Open, if you see a little thumbtack there, that means that you can either pin it or unpin it to your list. So if it's something that you say, gee, I'm using this all the time and I'm always having to search for it, because this works with files as well. So if I click on it, it's now been pinned up there, so it'll stay there. And then notice, I don't know if you can see, there's a little tiny circle with a line through it. So I can click on it again to unpin it. And then also, if you don't want this on your list, all you have to do is right click and tell it to remove it from the list. Then you don't have to see it. So in case you open up templates, now that I'm going to show you how to do this, and then you think, nah, I don't really like that template after all, just right click and choose remove from list. All right. So when you first come in, they give you a whole variety of templates to look at, right? But you also can go by categories. So over here, it says selected searches. So if you're interested in business templates, then you click on temp business, and then it brings up a whole variety of different templates that you can use that are related to different sorts of types of business, right? So look at that. There's a whole bunch. Now, don't worry, I'm not going through them all, but I just want to show you that there's a whole bunch. Now, up toward the top, if I go back to back, then you can also see personal templates. So there's a whole variety of personal templates. And I did do a Monday Live a couple months ago talking about some of these personal templates. I'm going to go back over here. You have planners and trackers. And then I'll go back again. And you also have lists. A lot of people use Excel for lists rather than just formulas. So Excel is just really handy for all different types of lists. Look at all the types of lists that you can create, right? And I'll go back again. You've got budgets. And I would recommend that you go back after this if you think these might be helpful and really spend some time looking at them. I'll open up one or two so you get to see them. Charts, and then you also have calendars. So if you're going to deal with calendars, right? So over here are calendars. And you are not locked into these things. So if you find a template that you really like, then you can just use that. But you may say, it's close, but it's not exactly what I want. Then you can always customize it. So now, before I bring one up, what if you're thinking, you know what, I want something that has to do with tracking social media, but I didn't see anything up there that had anything to do with social media. Well, you could spend a lot of time searching, hoping you can find it, or all you have to do is type it in this little search area. So I'm going to type in social media. And then as soon as I hit the enter key, it brings up several different types of social media. So here is a yearly overview editor. Let's see, calendar. So, and then all I did was click on it and it brings up this little dialog box. So you're going to see this with any of the templates that you start to open up. And then it just tells you that Microsoft provided it. And then all you have to do is click on create and it literally creates the workbook for you. And here we have, this particular one has just one sheet. And then a lot of times they give you some sort of little instructions. So over here, we have template instructions, and it just says fill in the social media content starting with cell C4. So that would be over here, right? And then it tells you about what to do, and then you start filling it in. Now, if you thought, this is so close to what I want, but it's not exactly what I want, well, what you could do, I don't know if you know about this, if you hold down the control key on the keyboard if you're a PC, command if you're a Mac, and then go to that tab and just drag it over. And if you can see down there, there's a tiny little piece of paper with a little plus sign. So that's just going to let me copy this sheet. So then I can let go of the mouse and I'll let go of the keyboard. And now I have a second copy. So then I could come in and start changing it and customizing it. So I still have the original in case I mess up. And then I also have one I can copy and make it, modify it to be exactly the way I want. So hopefully this starts to give you a few ideas. Now I'll go back over to File. And if I go back to New, notice that it is now showing up here because I opened it up as a template. So remember, if I said, yeah, I really like this, I plan on using it over and over again, I could pin it to the list. Otherwise, as I open up, let's say I open up 20 because I'm looking at all of them. Well, that thing's going to eventually go off the list or way off, so I can't really see it. So that's the purpose of pinning it. If I thought, well, I'm not really sure I'm going to really use this after all, remember you can right click and choose list. Remove from list. You can also preview it and then just tell it to create it from there too. So I'll just choose remove from list. And let's go over to one of the planners and trackers. And I'll just bring up this amortization schedule. So I'll just click on that and go ahead and open it up. And again, it was brought over by Microsoft. By the way, if you notice right now, we're on cell A1, and that's where our little comment is. It tells us about this particular one. So if I click off here, if I go back to cell A1, that's where you find the little help. So typically in their templates, I didn't tell you on that last one, if you just go to cell A1, most of the time, that's where they put any kind of little comment. So then they just tell you that this produces a loan amortization schedule that calculates your total interest and total payments and includes an option of extra payments. So then it just tells you to go over to cell C2 for additional information. So let's go over to cell C2. And now in this one, here's the title. And then it tells you that this is the title, tells you a little bit about what's going on. Enter your loan values from cells E5 to E9. and then any extra payments over in cell E11, and then enter your loan summary over in cells I5 to K9, and the lender over in cell I11. Okay, so it just kind of gives you a clue. So basically, you're just going to fill this stuff in, and then it does all the calculations for you. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of some of the different templates that you can use. And then if you plan on using this over and over again, or you make modifications to it, remember to save it. So as soon as you save it, it becomes a workbook that you can just start using over and over again. So right now, it would just be saved under Loan Amortization Schedule 1. One last thing to refresh your memory is, remember I said, if you don't want to worry about messing things up, you can go down to that tab, hold down the control key if you're on a PC, command if you're on a Mac, then click and hold. And as soon as you get that little piece of paper with plus sign, then you can let go of the mouse and you've just made an extra copy of your sheet so that you can rename it. Just right click, you can go to rename, do whatever you need to do, but that way you don't mess up the original. I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? You just go and open up the template again if you need to. All righty, so I'm going to go back over to File and then back over to New one more time. And hopefully this gives you some ideas of some of the different templates that you can use. Now, I'm not going to go into this in this lesson, but you can also create your own templates so that if you have something that you kind of use over and over again, or you want to create something for your team and you want them to just have a starting point so they don't start from scratch, Excel has definitely the ability for you to create your own templates. Here, we're just talking about the existing templates that come with Excel. All right, so it wasn't a real long little live today to give you lots of little shortcuts, but hopefully you'll find that the template will help out and save you some time. So I just want to say happy holidays and Merry Christmas from Virtual Instructor. And as I mentioned before, I'll actually be live next Monday at 11 a.m. So I'm going to cover some must-know keyboard shortcuts that are just going to make your life so much easier and faster when you're working in either a Mac or PC. So hopefully I will see you next Monday. And if not, Merry Christmas coming up. Happy holidays, and then Happy New Year, which is coming up as well. So if I don't see you the rest of the year, hope to see you next year on the Monday Lives. Again, every Monday from 11 a.m. for about 10-15 minutes. So have a great week and rest a little. Also, it's the end of the year. So just enjoy the holidays. Talk to you later. Bye.